Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. So, we've kind of hit this point where I have made a lot of suggestions, and this one may seem a bit radical. And it's something that I have been working on gradually, and it's definitely going to be easier for me than some other people. I'm already a minimalist, so that definitely is beneficial. But we need to start breaking up with corporations, capitalism, and the standard system that we're in, because our system isn't designed to benefit us. It's designed to benefit very few people at the top. They steal our labor and then sell us back their crap. Like back in the day, coal miners, I want to say it was, used to have to buy their own supplies, and they bought them from the company, and it was like taken out of future paychecks kind of a thing. And they were always owing, and they essentially were basically paying to go to work more so than being paid. Like it wasn't great. And well, that's not necessarily happening now, though. From what I've heard, some companies are kind of enacting stuff that is similar. A lot of people, how many people, dang train, sorry. How many people work at Walmart and then spend a good portion of their paycheck at Walmart? Like, the irony, I feel like Walmart is such a scam, and here is why. So Walmart doesn't pay their employees a living wage. They don't pay them enough so that they can actually support themselves. So then those employees have to apply for government assistance like Medicaid and food stamps. Now, I have nothing against the employees with this. However, Walmart still makes record profits. So maybe those people, maybe they shouldn't be paying as much in dividends and stuff, and being able to do stock buybacks and all that. Maybe what should be happening is they should be paying their employees a living wage, but they don't. So then here's the irony. So they don't pay them a living wage, but then those employees get food stamps. And so then those food stamps, they go and they spend them at Walmart on food. And then Walmart is actually making even more money off of them, because then that government money that's going to keep people from starving is actually going back to Walmart. So they're essentially making even more. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. I feel like that is just so ridiculous. Their employees are on Medicaid. Then they go to the Walmart pharmacy, get their prescriptions filled, and Medicaid pays the pharmacy, which granted it may be less than what other insurance companies pay, but still, so I just feel like all this money is going back to Walmart. And I mean, makes me think, so I remember this guy when I was in marketing, and he owned several gas stations in food deserts, and he used to buy food from Aldi and places and double and triple it and just make that money. And he said, they don't deserve that money. I do. So essentially, he was getting, he felt like he deserved the handout from the government, not them. And so he was essentially price gouging so that he could get the free government money. Because in the end, this money that these people get in benefits, people are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But they're not thinking about the factor that those dollars that we're giving people to keep from starving. And I mean, again, not against the people shouldn't starve, but actual dollars then go to and get funneled into corporations. And then corporations are essentially, they're getting the tax breaks, and they're getting, like, they have access then to the cash. So then that money and those profits that they are making because of food stamps and Medicaid and everything. And it's insane to me that, you know, people always complain about, oh, the poor people get food stamps because I don't know, I guess they think children should starve, because that's great. But they don't think about what happens to those food stamp dollars after they're spent, because the people who are profiting from food stamps, the people who are really getting rich from food stamps, aren't the people who are managing to not starve. It's the corporations. It's the corporations selling us food. We need food. Obviously, like, that's kind of what sucks about corporate America and capitalism, is that corporations own our food. So, what kind of things can we do to break up with capitalism, and corporations and corporate America right now? So I prefer typically to work for a small family-owned business. I have been a teacher, which is a public sector job. I've worked with different agencies that help people with disabilities. I have been a waitress / server and bartender for years. And those mainly, except for I worked at, Lone Star and TGI Fridays for like 6 weeks at Lone Star and like 2 or 3 months at Fridays. Other than that, that was like all family owned businesses that I worked at. So I definitely prefer to. And right now I'm doing Shipt, which is obviously very corporate. It's the longest time I have worked for a corporation because I started in 2019. I did it for like a week in 2019. Then I started again in the end, I think December of 2020. I'd gotten pneumonia really bad in November. So I think I started December of 2020 and then did it until like 2023. Went back to teaching and then took like a year off. And then I went back to it in like April. So it's like the longest I've worked for a corporation. But I think it's because I have the freedom to like make my own schedule. So it kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility, though Shipt will absolutely take money from its drivers every chance it gets. They will bundle things together so that they can pay us less. And sometimes it makes no sense. Like they'll bundle things together into 2 separate time frames, which is almost impossible, especially if like one of them has frozen foods. Like I've seen bundles where they're like, it's a half-hour drive and people in the second hour have like ice cream and 27 frozen things, and like they're gonna just be waiting a half hour for their food. That's not gonna work. So Shipt absolutely will do whatever it takes to make more money, and I get it, like, and it sucks. And so I would like to eventually be able to not do Shipt and find ways to be more self-sufficient. Some of the things I'm doing food-wise, I'm growing a garden. I do a lot of cooking from scratch. It's not that I never buy processed foods. Obviously, I mean, like, I have cereal every day. But I try and keep, I try and do less, like, more raw chicken, less chicken nuggets kind of a thing. More potatoes, less French fries, more, trying to think, more eggs, less Eggos. But yes, obviously, like, food is where it really sucks because corporations are in there. You're gonna have to go to a grocery store or whatever. Like, very few people can truly break up with corporate America in the food sense. Some different things I'm doing. I'm not getting a new car. I am making this car last as long as I possibly can. I don't buy a bunch of new furniture and stuff. I I do have obviously a phone and a phone plan. That's, where I can't quite figure out how I can do that, because no matter what, if you have a phone, prepaid, postpaid, whatever it is, you are still working with a corporation. I mean, there's no way to. So, obviously, we're still going to have to interact with corporate America and capitalism. We still have to earn money. We still have to pay our taxes. We still have to be part of this system. But that doesn't mean we have to be, fully in that system. We can buy less. We can consume less. We can choose a small farm when possible. We can grow some of our own food. We can cook from scratch. We can mend clothes, buy used. I mean, there's so many different things we can do to work less with the corporations and give them less of our money. Because I am telling you, the rich are greedy fucks. They need no more money. They need zero more dollars. Most like the ultra wealthy and these corporations, the people who, the Walmart heirs and all of them, have more money than they could spend in several lifetimes. Elon Musk, he needs zero more dollars. Give that man no more money. Jeff Bezos, no more money. They need no more dollars. They need to start giving away some of their dollars and quit hoarding it. They're greedy. But, we need to quit participating. And I mean, for us, it's different. It's hard. This is how it's always been for most of us, our whole life. So, but it's not how it's always been. I am lucky. I have some people in my family who had some decent longevity. I knew my great grandma. I had a great aunt I knew. So I know there's different ways of life, and I'm old enough to remember a time before. I mean, like, my grandma was really into catalog ordering, so obviously there's mail order and like there was Sears and everything, but a time before the internet where everything was like instant gratification, where you'd have to think about what you bought to some extent. So we've allowed these corporations to take over every aspect of our life. I can't think of a single area in my life where a corporation is not involved. And so I want to gradually, and I mean, again, I'm a minimalist, so I have some advantages there. I already tend to consume less and buy less. But I want to work on gradually getting away from it, and to gradually like move away from supporting corporations, because I need my money. The billionaires don't. So I'm trying to think of different ways that you can in your own life break up with corporations. Or maybe what can be a beneficial thing is think of ways you've already broken up with corporations. So I don't have like Netflix or Paramount or Disney or any of those streaming services. So yay me, I've broken up with the corporations and the streaming service thing. I don't play video games, which is a huge corporation thing. I still eat, but I cook a lot of my food from scratch. So not completely broken up from corporations food-wise, but I we're more, I guess, that love-hate on again, off again type relationship. I don't buy a ton of clothes. I don't wear makeup. So I will get used stuff from Facebook Marketplace and such. So, a lot of different things that I have done already to help that. So now I just need to kind of lean into those and pull away from the others. And this is not going to be a quick process. And to think that it's going to happen overnight is not. It's going to take a whole lot of us deciding we want to do this and working together and building these communities, because we aren't going to be able to do this alone. And once we start building communities to do it, then, and I mean, there's some communities that exist, but we need to grow those communities and build out new communities so that we can help each other and have more of a community and less of a corporation. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.